All right, I've got her cleaned up best I can. The cleanup is done, and the moment of truth. Let's see what we got. There's an ounce. There's 2 ounces. There's 3 ounces. Way more than I thought. Oh my God, this is insane. Shit. Oh, I can't wait. You gotta be kidding. Hang on. Let's see what this is. Hang on, I'm not gonna spoil it yet. Check this out. So the time has come. The time has come to clean out the saw and see how much gold is in the bottom of it. I'm going to show the complete process on how to get rid of the stuff that's not gold. And then we do have some silver in here as well. I'm going to show you how to get rid of the silver at the end of the process. But the first step is to drain it. I'm going to drain it into a vacuum bag that will filter out the solid particles. We want to get everything out of here first. And this is a vacuum filter bag. It filters down to 5 microns, so it will easily filter out the bigger particles of gold that are in here. This is just the first step. Let us tilt this sucker up. There comes some solids. That is some sludgy stuff. And you can just see this river of gold, so to speak. Kind of a trip. This is the start of it. There is sludge and muck. This is not just a simple process of panning. I'm going to scrape out all the solids. You can see the gold just running through that. I want you guys to guess, how much gold do you think is actually in this saw? Here's all the muck. You can just see the gold is just thick. What do you think? All right. That is a crazy amount of gold dust. Big chunks over here. I can see the gold on that stuff. Look at all that. That's insane how much gold is in there. I'm just going to get most of it out since I'm going to be cutting right away again, but I'll get a majority of it out. a little bit of acetone in here. Thin it out a little bit. You would never know it, but that's probably $2,000 worth of gold in my hand. Scrape up all these solids. You can see gold in there. I use this shirt to wipe my hands. It'll get it'll go through the processing as well. It'll go through the refining so that I don't lose any of this gold. All right, we have a bag full of goop. We have this shirt. All right, that is step one, cleaning it out. Next, we need to get rid of all the oil. So I came back and looked, and I realized that I left a bunch of gold right here. Totally forgot to clean this off this morning, so I will clean it out a little better, and then I'm going to move on to the second step, getting rid of the oil. Look at that gold. Sludge. All right, so the next step is to now incinerate this and get rid of all the oil, the mineral oil that's in this. I'm using diesel. Oops. And use diesel because you want a nice slow burn. You don't want it to burn fast. You want it to burn completely. So this will probably cook for 2 or 3 hours. Using an open air container like this, it contains the flame. No chance of anything getting out of a metal container. So we'll check back in a few hours. Okay, so I incinerated all of the material that was in here, and I'm now left with some ash. But all the gold is in here. You can see some pieces of quartz. So what I need to do now is mix this with some water, and I'm going to let all of the light non-gold, non-precious material just float off. All right, let's give this a running clear water in to get rid of the light ash and organic material that burned. Probably takes about half an hour to do this. Let's see what we get down here. Yeah, there's some gold in there. But oh my God, look at how much gold is up in that corner. You see the gold is floating. Holy fuck. There is way more than 3 ounces in here. This is fucking insane. Holy shit. Look at how much fucking gold is in here. Oh yeah, there is a shit ton more than 3 ounces of gold in this baby. This is fucking ridiculous, actually. Look at this. Yeah, it was time to clean out the saw. All right, so the next part is I want to now screen this down to 16 minus. And there's some serious gold in there. That is crazy amount of gold. I'd say today's a good cleanup. How crazy is that? I do this all the time, and for me, it's freaking insanely crazy. Definitely the most gold I've had in a cleanup ever. This should be one heck of a pan. Notice I'm using a tub to catch all that floaty stuff. I'm very aware of it. Yeah, that's a pan full of gold. Look at that. I'd say there's a lot more than 2 or 3 or 4 ounces in here. This is blowing my mind, actually. Okay, so I've screened out all of the fine gold, and then I have the larger pieces that didn't go through the 20 mesh screen, and was able to hand pick out some gold there. I've got these bigger bits that I'll pan those, but we will start with some of the stuff that was left in the bottom of the pan after I screened it. You can see that the ash just wants to float. So we want to get it all nice and wet, make sure it all sinks. I'm panning into this tub, obviously. I'm just going to go fairly quick. I will process anything that I lose at another time. You can see right there, look how fine that gold is. Look how fine that is. Just wants to float away. So we'll just pan off the light material. Which does have gold in it, by the way. I'm just trying to get a rough estimate of how much gold was in that pan. We've had guesses anywhere from an ounce to 48 ounces was the high, I think. I'd love if it was 48 ounces. And so we got her down to there. Just swirl that around, show you how much gold is in there. Look at that. Crazy amount of gold. Now I'll add this stuff. Again, it'll be a rough pan, because what I'm going to do is process this material. Whatever falls into the tub, I will wind up crushing. You can see that that stuff just wants to come off even with gold in it. I just want the most coarse stuff. I know I'm losing gold. You guys can flame me, tell me I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not so interested in just getting it all by panning it. I will use another process to get the rest of it out. A lot of gold in there. There you go. Look at that. That is a bunch of gold. All right, so the next step is to get rid of all the material that's not gold. This is the stuff that I just panned. We'll see how it works on this. See, the gold just wants to float. See here that we have a line of gold, a little bit of gold coming down into the secondary. So I'm going to adjust it a little bit more. I've got a bucket, of course, set up down here to catch all the material that does get washed off. All right. Look at that, just floating away. Check this out. Oh my God. That is freaking insane. 14.24 ounces of gold in there. I almost can't believe it. That's insane. Oh, mira. So what I'm actually going to do with this stuff now is I'm actually going to refine this down to pure gold. I'll show the process of how to refine. There is a method for gold that is not jewelry. There's certain things that you have to do to make sure that you do dissolve the gold completely. And then we're going to alloy the refined gold into 14 karat and 18 karat gold and use it for jewelry and use it for bezels actually around the rocks that I've been cutting in the saw. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. It took me a lot longer to get this video done. I look forward to, you know, going on this adventure even further with you guys and sharing what I know. Sharing my knowledge. That's my dog.